Filming from GenCon 2018, I'm here with Isaac, who is the famous designer of Gloomhaven, #1 game or board game geek right now. And Isaac is here presenting a new game of his, which is Founders of Gloomhaven, which seems to be more of a traditional Eurogamey civilization game, but as I understand it also has ties with Gloomhaven.
Right, yes. Yeah, so it's set in the same world, set a couple hundred years in the past when the city of Gloomhaven is being built. So you're building on the ruins of an old civilization. You're going to be one of the 9 iconic races from the Gloomhaven universe, and then just competing in this heavily interactive city building game.
Excellent. And so here's the board, but this is not a setup. There's a couple of turns in.
Right, yeah, this is maybe halfway through. Yeah, so the basic idea is you've got these little resource nodes everywhere, and that's sort of, every player controls different resources. And you've got sort of this tech tree over here that sort of shows you, you've got 8 basic resources, which are the smaller ones, and then you'll be able to combine those in different ways to create more advanced resources. But the way it's set up is you always have to be working with other players in order to do that. You can't just use your own resources, you've got to sort of horn in on their resources as well to create the more advanced resources. And then the ultimate goal is to sort of connect these to these various prestige buildings, which is sort of point scoring opportunities. They want different resources and I'll give you different points for
Oh, look at those adorable buildings and those big meeples.
Yeah, so we've got, really cool meeples for each of the races, because there's a sort of worker placement aspect to it as well. So each race comes with their own bag of these really stylized screen printed meeples. So I'm really happy with that. And then also the artwork, you can also see the artwork for the different races is really beautiful.
Indeed. So what are the actions that you take in a turn? What is the turn structure?
So the turn structure is basically whoever's the active player, they have a deck of cards. It's similar to Concordia. So you've got a deck of cards and you're just going to play a card from your hand to take an action.
Yeah, you can.
But what's cool is that it's also got sort of a Puerto Rico vibe to it, and then when you take your action, everyone else at the table will get to follow you as sort of a lesser version of that action. And then once that's resolved and play passes to the next person, they play a card. And so there's no rounds or anything, it just goes around and around the table until the game's over.
Excellent.
And similar to Concordia, you've got a card that's going to let you get all your discarded cards back. So what happens, you'll have to play that eventually, and so it's a card reset, but it also triggers a vote on these prestige buildings over here. So these are more point scoring opportunities. One of these is going to get placed out on the board through a vote, and that's going to be new point scoring opportunities for everyone to have. So like say I'm the Savas over here, I'm the white player, and I've got a strong control of bricks. I might want this building to come out because it's going to give me a lot more points for bricks. So we go through this voting process. Sorry, I'm going to reach over here. Where I'm going to look and see, okay, well I want this red building to come out. I've got these vote tokens. But I've also got these influence tokens. And these can add to the strength of my vote. So it's a sort of a bidding thing, where I sort of secretly decide how much influence I want to add to my vote, and then we simultaneously reveal, and then whichever building gets the most votes is the one that gets placed. Maybe it's that. So there's a lot of stuff to balance throughout the game. You got to collect influence so you can control the votes. You got to build road networks out on the board so you can connect everything to everything else. You also got to, manage your money, because you can easily run out of money in this game. So you got to make sure that that's, you're managing that well as well.
Yeah, it does look like there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to do. How long does it take to play typically?
So once you're familiar with the game, you can play it in about 2 hours. Your first game is probably going to be longer than that, maybe more like 3 hours. Just because it is a very sandboxy game. You start with just an empty board. And it's like, where do you want to place your first resource? I don't know, there's 200 choices. So before you have a game under your belt and really know like how everything interacts with each other, some of those decisions can like be AP inducing. Once you get everything under your belt and you know how everything connects to each other, then you can understand the strategy better and play a lot faster.
Excellent. And when's the game going to be available?
So it's really being released at GenCon, but it'll be available for retail in a week or two. Either August 10th or August 17th. I don't think that's been fully decided yet, but we're going to decide pretty fast here.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Isaac, for telling us about Thunders of Gloomhaven.
Yeah, you're welcome.